You're watching 11 Alive Morning News. 11 minutes of nonstop news starts now.
Kicking off your 11 minutes of nonstop news with a check on your forecast.
Melissa, we could hit 90 today, huh?
We could, and it's the first day of meteorological summer, so just in the nick of time. Look at this start to the day. Mostly sunny skies, but a bright sunshine outside over Atlanta. We've got 71 degrees, and a lot of our suburbs are starting off in the mid-60s. Here's your highs this afternoon. Not many 80s on the map, maybe the North Georgia mountains, but the metro area, we're going to be soaring into the 90s with just a 20% chance of a stray pop-up shower or thunderstorm, and this is what the forecast track looks like. Many of us staying dry. If you're lucky enough to get a shower or storm, good for you. Rain chance a little better tomorrow, and I'll talk about that in just a few minutes.
This morning, a special grand jury is meeting in Fulton County and is expected to hear its first witnesses.
They are investigating whether former President Donald Trump tried to interfere with Georgia's election results in 2020 and overturn his loss. Molly Oak is outside the Fulton County Courthouse. Molly, several election officials in Georgia have already been subpoenaed, and they'll eventually come in and give their side of the story here.
Yeah, a lot of big names already being called in to testify. Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis called the special grand jury. Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger is just one of those names that's been called in, plus 5 of his current and former members of staff that have been subpoenaed. Raffensperger and his staff were on the phone for the 2021 call from then President Donald Trump, where Trump asked Raffensperger to, quote, find votes following his 2020 election loss. Now, the grand jury will eventually send a report to the Fulton County DA. However, we're not sure when that will become public yet. Raffensperger is expected to testify on Thursday. We'll keep you guys updated on the latest on air and online.
All right, Molly, thank you. We are following a developing story out of Atlanta. Police say a man's in the hospital after somebody shot him during an attempted robbery on Tanner Street near Edgewood Avenue. Investigators say 2 men were walking to their car when someone tried to rob them. Police say they do have persons of interest.
A community in Alpharetta is mourning the loss of their former teacher and coach, Chris Leffler, his wife Lori, and their 2 sons, Zach and Nate, died in a boat crash on the Wilmington River over Memorial Day weekend. Last night, students and teachers came together at Kings Ridge Christian School to remember the man who had a big impact on their lives. Even though he only taught there for 5 years, Chris coached football and even helped start the wrestling team shortly before moving to Savannah.
Him and his family were just engaged in everything in this community. They loved the school, they loved our kids.
The Leffler's daughter, Katie, was the only family member to survive. She's currently in college. As of this morning, a memorial fund for the family has raised more than $52,000, and you can find a link to that on 11alive.com.
The deadliest days of the year for teenage drivers are here. They are out of school, they've got time on their hands, places they want to go. AAA says on average 24 people are killed in teen driver-related crashes in Georgia from Memorial Day to Labor Day every year. Here are some tips to help protect your child. Limit distractions, and yes, that absolutely means cell phones, but driving with other teenagers in the car is actually more dangerous. AAA recommends setting limits for how many passengers you can have in the car. Speeding is the leading factor in crashes for teenagers and for adults. So what you can do is really lead by example. Follow the speed limit and make sure everyone in the car is wearing a seat belt every trip. You should also try to limit the amount of time your teenager spends behind the wheel driving at nighttime.
Today we'll wrap up the busy Memorial Day travel weekend at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. This is a live look right now for you at the tarmac. I love when we catch a plane just coming right on in. So over this holiday weekend, it was expected that more than 2 million passengers would travel through Atlanta during that time. Airport officials recommend arriving 2 hours early and checking with your airline because we have been seeing a lot of cancellations and delays.
The runoff election is in 3 weeks. There are 4 Democratic races that still need to be decided. Those include who will be on the ballot for Lieutenant Governor, Secretary of State, Labor Commissioner, and Insurance Commissioner.
Today, as the Justice Department prepares to start its review of last week's shooting at Robb Elementary School in Texas, more victims will be laid to rest. Over the next 2 weeks, 21 funerals planned, so families can say their final goodbyes. Here is a look at what you need to know before you get ready to head out the door. After 34 years, Atlanta Police Chief Rodney Bryan is putting away his badge for the 2nd time. Bryant is retiring after serving the city in various roles since 1988. He became interim chief in 2020, which was a really historical time for the city, leading the department through social unrest. Mayor Dickens says Bryant has earned his retirement.
Opening statements beginning today at the Putnam County Courthouse in the Ricky DuBose trial. DuBose is one of 2 inmates accused of killing 2 corrections officers aboard a transport bus in Putnam County in 2017. 12 jurors and 5 alternates are going to hear the case. Last year, a jury convicted inmate Donnie Rowe on all counts. He's serving life in prison without parole.
President Biden will meet with formula manufacturers later today to talk about his plan to speed up production. It is an effort called Operation Fly Formula. The president and his team have been working to import formula from other countries over the past few weeks.
And with summer comes the Atlantic hurricane season. It starts today, and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration is predicting an above-average hurricane activity this year, Melissa.
And we could have our first named storm or depression by the end of the week. Locally, it is a humid start to the day. Hot, humid this afternoon. 91, that high temperature, just a stray shower or thunderstorm. That rain chance goes up a little bit for tomorrow in the evening, and then we'll be in the 80s through the weekend.